Studio Series Blitzwing has been the first ever seekers that has come out of this Transformer Bumblebee movie, and it also is the only one that has possessed jet mode from Earth instead of a Cybertronian jet mode. Although the jet mode is based on the concept art instead of the model that was used in the movie, Studio Blitzwing is extremely accurate in his robot mode. His details are extremely intricate. His articulation is also not lacking on these figures. Coupling with a fancy package, Studio Blitzwing looks so good regardless of being inside the box or outside the box. His Blitzwing inside his fancy packaging. I love this style of box with a closed window where we can actually display the figures like a collectible piece. Let's take a closer look at this. You see that the colors on these figures right here is different from the original one because this is my custom version. I can see that I'm trying to make the colors for the figure itself look more like the CGI model that have on the figures right here. So this one actually really accurate to the model that appears in the movie, not just the concept art like some of the other figures. Look at the overall details and aesthetic. We can already see that these figures have a very accurate aesthetics to how the CGI model is supposed to look like. Here's the side of figures. The head there look very fancy. And here's the back of the figure. It's transformed inside 27 steps, and you can see that for the alternative mode, definitely this mode is weaker than the robot mode. It's just based on the concept art jet mode instead of the actual jet that was used in the movie. But still, it's really good because most of us will display these figures inside robot mode, so I don't really mind about the alternative mode. Looks so fancy. I really want them to bring this type of box back. And here's a Blitzwing outside his packaging, standing in front of his included backdrop. You can see that he's come with an arm gun, and it comes with their weapon they actually used to take out the voice box of Bumblebee.
Then let's make it official.
As I mentioned before, this Blitzwing looked incredible to how he actually appears in the movie. All of the moldings were already on these fancy figures, and I basically just have to put on a little more colors to actually make the molding detail pops out even more. So here's the face of the figure. I didn't change much on the face for those areas over here. Instead of having just a pure white plastic, I tried to put a little more of metallic color as well as black colors on there to highlight the molding details that we have on the figures. As we go through the chest and hair area, you can see that we have a lot more black washing going throughout in this region over here, just to highlight some more detail in the cockpit region. And as we go to the shoulder area as well, so again we have highlights of black inside of the white plastic colors. I think that just highlights out those intricate details right here. Like all of those molding were already on the figures, but they were so blended in because everything was mostly just white plastic colors on here. As we go to both sides of the arm, you can see that they definitely have a lot more black, especially on this region right here. Initially we were on just white plastic color just like this, and then we also have a lot more black washing going throughout on both of the arm there. And as we go to the chest or abdominal section region over here, again you can see that those fancy cockpit area over here, it was all white plastic just like the top region, but now they all have that kind of metallic and black colors. Going down to the legs area, again we can see that a lot more black washing going throughout. And of course those region over here as well, not just blue plastic colors anymore or white plastic colors, but now they have that kind of black plastic in there. And here's the part I enjoy the most, the legs of the figures. So of course we don't have the thruster design on the legs of Blitzwing, so that was the only weakest comparison to the newer seekers from Cybertronian. Then look at this leg design. You can see that now, other than the white plastic, they have a lot more metallic colors and black colors going throughout. And those designs, just look at the CGI model and try to mimic that. All of the molding were already here, and we just have to put in a lot more black plastic colors and metallic plastic colors. I like this region a lot as well. So just a little more black, and you can already see that it's actually have the wheel, the jet mode on here, along with the headline. They also got painting as well. I really like how that's turned out. I just think small details like that can change the figures a whole 180 degrees. And here's the back of the figure. So again, you can see that there's a lot more black washing going in here to highlight all the panel that's already available on the mold. As we go to the wings, again we can see more of that type color as well. We also have a little more red on here because I checked the CGI model and it did have red on the tips of the wing, so I also tried to put red on there. And here's our overall figures. How do you think? I really like how this turned out. It's one of my favorite figures in my collection for sure. In terms of articulation, for the head, Blitzwing can rotate pretty much 360 from left to right, and then it can go down, looks down like that, and it's look up by a lot as well. So over here, outside of the bone joint on the head, it can actually have this angle on the neck joint as well. So it can also have it look down by quite a lot by using those two joints together. As we go to the arm, of course, if we angle the wings back here, it can rotate 360. And then of course when we go to the bicep over here, it can swivel 360. And then as we go to the bicep down here, we have double jointed elbow, so it can go up to that far. Mostly for transformation, but still can be used for regular articulation. And then as we go down here, of course for this arm, because it's just a plug and unplug mechanism, so that it can swap out for a different accessory for the arm, so it can rotate 360 over here as well. For this hand right here, it doesn't have finger articulation, but for the other arm that we have over here, the hand actually have articulation. For this arm articulation, exactly the same as this arm right here, just the hand have extra articulation. So it can open up like that, and it can close like that. So all 5 or 4 fingers over here actually articulate together, and then the thumb doesn't move. As we go down here, it also have some kind of wet swivel right in there, but it's only swivel very tinily, as you can see, because this part actually block it. So if you unblock that, it can rotate a little more, but you can see that it's kind of wiggle. It doesn't do much right now, but depending on how you articulate your fingers, you may be able to get a little more out of that. And as we go to the legs down here, we can see that it can kick up that far, around 90 degrees. And then it can kick backward that far, also a little below 90 degrees. And then as we go down here, again, we have another swivel on the legs. And then for the knee joints over here, it can bend around 90 degrees like that. As we go down here to the feet, it have a very good ankle too. Very good articulation for modern Voyager class. The only downside for this figure is that for the chest region and for the wings, of course, let's go over the wing articulation. So this wing can flap like this. Then for this part, it can angle up, but it cannot angle down. It cannot swivel just like some of the other newer Seeker from Cybertronian. And another downside is that for this, when you play with the figures, this backpack can unplug very easily. Basically, just plug in right here, and this tend to be unlocked very easily when you just try to like move his arm, for example. And you can see that when I try to move the arm, because this joint over here is very tight, it actually moved the whole chest. So that's why this got unplugged out, and then this chest just keep going up for transformation. So for that part, not really good, but it's mainly because the arm joints are way too tight in comparison to the joints of the chest and the backpack connection. That is not that big of a deal. In overall, this is still very good figures. Here are some of the side comparisons that matter the most to this 30 Series 65 Blitzwing for me. Of course, the first one is a Trumpeter Bumblebee. This Trumpeter Bumblebee is in the perfect size to be held up by this Blitzwing and to recreate some of the scenes that we saw them battle together. I think those are the perfect one. The 30 Series one feel a little too big for me, so this Trumpeter Bumblebee is just the ideal one to go for. And of course, we also have Blitzwing scaling with some of the Decepticon, especially the Seeker that we have, and some of the Autobot as well. You can see that throughout the Bumblebee movie and Rise of the Beast movie. This Blitzwing seems to scale really well with most of the figures from the 30th series line. And of course with this new paint job, they just look so good together. In overall, I think this 30 series 65 Blitzwing is definitely worth it. It is definitely my best Seekers in my collection. It is the only one with a unique design, as opposed to all of the other stickers right now, which are basically just remolded version of one another or just repaint of one another.
B127.